Ida Bell
Belle.
Hyde. And her father was Cleveland Hyde. Who was her mother?
She died when Mom was a kid, and I don't remember, but I remember Grandma Mary.
So that was
Grandpa Cleveland married after.
Okay, so that was not a blood relative.
No.
She was not
No.
the blood relative. Mother died. She was a teen, and Cleveland Hyde had brothers.
I don't know who they were.
Uncle Tom and
No,
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 okay.
that was his brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. So
Ida's brother.
Ida had who?
Ida's brother was Tompkin, and I don't know Perry's or Tom's middle name.
And Perry. Tompkin and Perry, and they lived in Arkansas?
No,
Missouri. Okay, and then
Walter. Let's see. Walter Hyde. He was a brother. Walter married Sadie, and Perry never did marry.
Did Tompkin marry?
Yeah, and he had 10 kids.
Okay, wow.
Tompkin Boring? Hyde. Tompkin
These are
Hyde.
all the Hydes. So this is the Hyde family. And Ida Bell, so you told me a really cute story that about Grandpa Ben, and a fortune teller came to town.
Yeah, they had a carnival. The whole city.
And the fortune teller told him what?
He would be married in 11.
And he wasn't sure if it was 11 days, 11 months, you know, what that meant.
11 weeks. He didn't know what it was going to be, but it was going to be in 11.
So then what happened next?
Well, they had to wait till Grandpa Hyde got remarried before they could marry.
Okay. But how did he get together with Ida? What did she do that encouraged him, that said she was the one?
Oh, they knew. Ben picked her out.
He picked her out?
Yeah, he picked out the best looking woman out there, down there.
And you said that she sent him a note in the mail when he was in college?
Just at 11.
She sent him.
They wrote back and forth while he was in college.
Did she know about this 11 story, or was that just?
Oh yeah, she knew that.
Oh, so she sent him 11 in the mail.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They were laughing about what the fortune teller told them. Or the carnival guy, whatever he was.
And he came home and married her then.
Yeah. She didn't say a word, just an 11, and mailed it to him.
So he was in college where?
Springfield, Missouri.
And what was he studying?
But they called it normal school. They didn't call it a college. They called it normal school.
Was he studying to be a teacher?
He was a teacher, but when he got his college education, he quit teaching and took but not till he took a federal test and was in a mail.
Right.
Yeah.
And he became a mail carrier.
No, not a carrier. He had to go to the Union Station every night and sort mail all night long. He left home at 9 and got home at 9 at night and got home at 9 in the morning 'cause he had to transfer so many times to get to the Union Station on a streetcar and get back home on a streetcar.
Now, did Ben Boring have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, Uncle George Washington Boring, Benjamin Franklin Boring, and George Washington Boring. And he had a sister. She was so pretty. Can't think of her name right now.
So there were 2 brothers and a sister that he had.
Yeah.
Okay.
And George Washington had Carl and Thelma and God, I hadn't thought of them for so many years.
Oh, that's
you know.
okay. Did they live in Missouri as well?
Springfield.
Springfield.
That's where Uncle George carried the mail.
So he carried the mail too.
Yeah, he was an actual mail carrier.
He was a mail carrier. And what did Ben Franklin Boring do?
Well, after he quit teaching,
Oh my gosh.
he took a federal test, and he worked in the Union Station
Oh,
every night.
Okay, that was Ben. Oh, Ben.
Yeah,
That was Ben.
Ben.
You mentioned Ben. Okay. And with sister, we're not sure what happened to her. The sister that they had.
I can't think of her name. I know Grandpa George, Uncle George had Thelma and Chester and Carl
Carl. Wow. Okay.
and Lona could not stand Thelma. She said she actually put a piece of cake down on my plate that I had been eating off of. She thought she was so rude.
Oh wow.
I said, hey, you're lucky she gave you a piece of cake.
Right. Right. So did any of these people go off to World War I at all? Any of
I
them?
didn't hear you.
Anybody go to World War I? Anybody join the
No.
military? Nobody joined the military?
No, they weren't in the service
Okay. Do you,
that I knew of.
you mentioned your grandfather who was Cleveland Hyde. Did you know anything about his father or any of the ones before
No.
that? Great-grandfather?
He may have been an orphan for all I knew. I
Okay, you don't know.
don't know anything about him.
Okay, and on the Boring side, did you know anything about Ben Boring's father?
His father came and lived with us when I was a kid.
Oh,
Grandpa Boring lived with us. And when, I don't know, it was before Mom got sick, that Ralph and Wayne, not Clyde was working, but the boys took Grandpa to Uncle Raymond's in Ben's brother in Oklahoma. Then he and his son were both working in the oil fields, but we had to send them money all the time to feed Grandpa. Well, what I wanted when I graduated from Northwest Junior High School was a watch. And we went down to see him one time, and every one of those girls were running around playing out in the yard with watches on. With the money we sent them, I always thought.
They were using that money. So, do you know anything about your Grandpa Boring at all? Like,
I don't know what you said.
do you know anything about Grandpa Boring at all? Like what his first name was, or who he was married to?
I don't know.
just that he came to live with you for a while, and then he went to Uncle Raymond's, and you were sending the
He
money.
was with us for years and years and years. And when I was growing up in Bryant grade school, Mom was waiting on him. He was helpless.
Do you know where your family came from in Europe? Was it Germany or England where the Borings came from?
Mom's family came from the Ireland
The
side.
Hydes. The Hyde side
Hyde side.
came from Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And we don't know about the Boring side.
I think the German side.
And kind of switching to Grandpa Bob, do you know anything about his father was Cornelius
And his sister was
Robert.
Aunt Evelyn Martinet. Evelyn Shaw.
So he had one sister.
Uh-huh. Will you come down and have lunch with me?
We have we're meeting some folks. It's 11:40 now,
Yeah.
so we're meeting some folks
It's
for lunch.
11:45,
11:40. What time do you go to lunch?
11:30.
Oh, wow. We
But
got
you can go down with me.